Yesterday I made my first video and I shared it with my few friends. I shared my few friends and a link with my few friends for them to see that Greg has a brand new YouTube channel, and then they were like, "Oh, well done! Oh, good one! Oh, your video looked nice! Oh, how do you record it and everything?" I shared it with my siblings and they were happy with me too. And I promised myself that I'll be making this content every day until it become part of my life, and it become part of my life, and it becomes something that I just want to be doing every time. I'm not used to facing the camera like this. It's me like making myself so vulnerable and making myself so open to the whole world. I'm a very private person. So I want to take you on my journey from where I was, where I'm now, and where I'm going to. Is that okay? Alright, let's shoot. You know those kids when you were younger that they are always the smartest in class, always taking first, always like they are noisy, yet they take first. They are dirty, yet they take first. They are the most playful, yet they take first. That's typically who I am. My primary and secondary school days were very smooth. Like I was among the best in class, always doing well. I was the one they were always saying, using Greg as example that, okay, look at Greg, be like Greg. I went to school very early. I was among the smallest in my class, the youngest in my class. I got to JS1. I got to JS1 when I was going to 10 years old. So, and then I left secondary school when I was 15 years. Got admission to University of Port Harcourt when I was still 15. I started when I was 16. Growing up as a kid, I was just that very stubborn child, very stubborn. My mom, I was so popular. My stubbornness also got me to the point where my mom actually broke my head with the seat. I was the superstar of the house. What do I call myself? Not just superstar. Like I was the celebrity of the compound. The whole area knew my name. Like my mom always, when she come back from work, when she come back from her shop, she's always shouting my name. Everybody know my name in the church. There, everybody know me as that very stubborn person. But looking down at myself all throughout that period, I knew that I was very stubborn. I was cheating. I was lying. I was stealing. I was doing all these stupid things that a naughty child will be doing. But throughout this period, I knew that inside me I wanted to be a better person. I wanted to change my life. I could remember sometimes when after my mom shouting at me, and a day when I did something very stupid, and my mom's younger sister called me, my aunt called me a disgrace to the family. So I remember some of all the story. And most times when I was getting to the end of my primary school and my secondary school days, where I was at the peak of my notoriety, whenever they shout at me or run to somewhere and hide and start crying to God and start praying that God, I don't want to be useless. I'm the first son of my family, so they always say first sons are always very stupid. So I always run and go to somewhere and hide and say, God, I don't want to be useless. I don't want to be useless. So all through my primary school and secondary school, I did very well in class. Like I had no challenge with my education. My mom helped me all through. She always wake me and my elder sister then up to study at night. She would beat us, wake us up, make sure we have this table where we used to learn, and then my mom would sit to me here, sit my sister down here, and then put a lantern here and say she will give us time to study. I think this was my early, like my late primary school and my early secondary school days. So she would say, you must sit down here and you must read until she's satisfied. When she goes to her room, we read small, and I will sit down there and sleep. Next you just receive your back is a big slap. Wake up and it gets worse during the exam period. I was a very playful, I was very naughty boy when I was growing up. So it was a very my childhood. I didn't say I had a bad childhood. Yes, I came from a broken home where my dad was very distant from us. I have my step siblings, and my dad like basically only what he cares about me and my siblings was that okay, he paid our school fees and we had good secondary school education. Not me and my elder sister and my brother, but not my other younger siblings. But he cared so much. He took care of our education then, and that is for me. I'm so grateful that he did that for us. But the rest, he was distant from us, and I'm not even close to him right now. Growing up as a child, I was just a very, very resourceful child where I'm naturally curious. Like, I want to know why things work the way they are. I don't ask questions that much. Like, growing up as a child, I was a very, very shy kid. So I don't ask questions that much. But what I do is I pay attention to what somebody's doing and what somebody's saying. So I just pay attention. I just sit down and watch. I won't tell the person anything because I had this funny way of talking. I can't say cup. If I say cup, I'll say up. If I want to say com, I'll say If I want to say keyboard, I'll say keyboard. So that made me very, very shy as a kid. So I was very, very attentive, but I don't talk. So I learned by paying attention. So I was a very, very resourceful kid. I taught myself how to repair torches, repair anything electrical. I would just play around, spoil all my mom's fork that I'm using them to make screwdrivers. When my dad changed the chairs in our sitting room, I took one of them and then kept in one of the back corners in our room, in my mom's room entrance, that I use as my hiding place where I hide this food stuff, the banana, plantain, and anything I stole. And it was also used as my storage place for all my working tools, where I kept my tools. So starting as a kid, I was a very, very funny child and very, very resourceful child. I had fun playing football, but that didn't give me much fun. I think as a child I was much happy when I'm doing two things as a child. When I'm on my own fixing things, I'll see a zinc or take a zinc, or see bulbs or take the bulb with batteries and sitting down trying to create. So, and when I'm drawing, those two things made me fun. And then I think as I was growing up, I saw my sister was my elder sister, she was very, very brilliant, and she was like my role model, and everybody was like praising her. So I wanted to be like her. So, and she reads a lot, so I started reading books then. But I didn't have access to the books she was reading. I think they were more older books, and she hid them, so she didn't allow me to read them. So what I do is that I read my Bible stories, my like Good News Bible. I'll go to the church, and then I'll go to the church. You know, people like forgetting. I don't know why people like forgetting their Bibles in church. So when I go to church, I'll pick up people's Bible, and when I go to the church, I'll pick up people's Bible, and those areas that contains all this interesting story about David, about Samuel, about Joshua, those days, about just those interesting stories in the Bible. Any of the stories you can think about, those good news, if you know Good News Bible, all the stories, any story you can think about in the Bible, I read them and overread them. When I'll steal them and hide them inside my clothes, and then when I get home, I read them, and after reading them, I'll hide the Bible again. And then I think that was what made me happy as a child. I come out from a broken home. My dad has 2 wives with 11 kids. I'm the second from my mom, and third overall. My mom has 6. My stepmom has 5. One of the reasons why I got tired of giving myself excuses in my life is because I had so many opportunities in my life. Like, among my peers, because I grew up, like I moved from Port Harcourt when I was born in Port Harcourt. I moved from Port Harcourt back to the village. But among my peers, like I'm from a very I'm from a good family, like that values education. So those early days, my dad made sure that all of us went to school, and we went to good schools. Like I went to school where I have a driver that will come pick us up in the morning and take us to school, and then pick us back from school. So I think I had a very good education. The secondary school I went to was at Immaculate Comprehensive College that I went to at Omok in River State. It's among the best then it was just among when you're talking about the best schools in River State, then that was one of the best. So I had a very good secondary school, and then my university, like maybe I finished secondary school. So my dad wanted me to study law, but my mom, knowing who my dad is, then by that time my dad had lost so much interest in our affairs. So my mom, she knew my personality and knew that I'm a very terrible person. I have the tendency to become something else. So she just wanted me to leave home as soon as possible. So she did everything in her power that I go to university then. So she pushed me, and I read my JAMB, I read my test, and then I got admitted to University of Port Harcourt, where I study religious and cultural studies. Throughout the university, I was still among my classmates that know me, know that okay, I was still among the intelligent ones in class. Now, I'm very book smart, but financially smart, like street smart, I'm lacking so much there, and that's what I'm struggling to build now. You know, the family I came out from was a family where you see business was left for people that didn't go to school. And then people that went to school are people that are lawyers, people that are doctors, people that are engineers, and to my parents, those are the successful ones. So yes, they like people that are into business, but they see business as something not pleasing, not interesting. So all throughout my childhood and my university days, I paid more attention to business and entrepreneurship, but none of those things were like ringing a bell in me. All I was just thinking that okay, I'll finish my university, and then maybe when I'm done with my university, because I finished my university 20 years, maybe I figure out a way to go to school again, and then change my course, study something more professional, and then become a professional in one of all these fields. But because I'm book smart, so going to school again to study for school, all those things won't be a problem for me. Toward the end of my university days, that's when I started like paying attention to business, and because I started reading. Why did I start reading? I wanted to change myself. Like I was seeing like there's so much I need to know, so I started reading books. That was the first time. The first book I read was Think and Grow Rich. Like I took the book from one of my neighbors, and then after reading that Think and Grow Rich, I started thinking more about businesses. Or I read more people I didn't know about. I didn't have steady access to the internet until I think my final year. So I was not opportune to learn technical skills about the internet. Yes, I learned about computers, but that was a computer training class that I went before most of us, when you want to write your WAEC, you go and do like 1 or 2 months of computer class, and then that's it. So after the WAEC period, you don't have access to computer again and no internet connections. The phones I was using, I don't get money to buy data at that time. And I think it was 3G, and 3G before you watch one YouTube video. It takes so much time. So I started reading books toward the end of my university days, and it helped me to become it helped me to start thinking about business and entrepreneurship. But then when I raised the topic of going into business, my mom will kick against it. She will say, even when I've not spoken to my dad for a very, very long time, and recently I think on Easter, on Palm Sunday, when I called it to say, okay, let me just know how it is. So it was like more than almost 2 years I've spoken with him. So he was surprised that I called him, and then because I'm not close to my dad at all, I'm like this with my mom, but very far away from my dad. He was very surprised, but now asking me what was I doing, talking to me about going back to school again, going to study something like law, getting a master's so that I will become a professional. They are still thinking that way, but me and my mindset and my thoughts and my plans are so far from them. I started taking ownership of my life after my university days when I moved to Abuja for my NYSC. Then I was staying in a Copas Lodge. When I moved to Abuja for NYSC, after my NYSC, I struggled. Then after my NYSC, I finished my NYSC 2019. Finished my NYSC 2019, and then 2020 COVID-19 happened. I lost my I lost my accommodation because during my NYC days I was just the playboy, running around, reflecting around, moving around, not doing anything serious. Okay, the only serious thing I did was singing because I was singing in the choir then. So that's only what I did. But to do anything professional to take me, like, I did nothing. So I lost my accommodation. I stayed with my elder sister for 9 months in an apartment where she and her husband was staying. So I struggled during that time. So my first job after university was teaching. I taught in a nursery and primary. After I was teaching, I taught in a nursery and primary school, like teaching children those children are so smart. Victoria, Lifemi, Mercy, and some of those kids. I don't know where they are, Ezra. So my first job was a primary school teacher, and then during my days as a teacher, during that period was at the big point when I was just thinking about entrepreneurship. I was just tired about my life. That was 2020. That was 2022, and toward the end of 2020, after the COVID elapsed. So 2020, toward the end of 2020 and 2021, so I was teaching as a primary school teacher. So everybody was like, Greg, the resourceful teacher, because I was very, very resourceful. I was very, very hardworking as a teacher. Then I was reading books. That was when I read Money Master the Game by Tony Robbins, reading those their business books, reading and then listening to podcasts and other things. So just that period helped to change. That was my formative period when I started changing my mindset, changing my thoughts, changing my attitude. So after teaching in the school for like a year and 6 months, I decided to quit my job and then focus on lessons. I started getting lessons, so I was teaching lessons of 10k, 15k, 10k, 15k, 20k. So I started making money from lessons. Like the biggest I make in a month was like 150k naira. So I was making money from my lessons, and I think I was doing quite well before the children started to drop. Then after my lessons, after my lesson, when I was doing the lessons, I was not like saying, I'm not going to be a lesson teacher forever. Let me try something else. So 2021, I started attending conferences, international conferences of NGOs, all these youth conferences. I started volunteering and then started volunteering to organize conferences in Abuja then. So that made me so much exposure to I made so many contacts then I was not during all that period. I was thinking about what business I'm going to start, what am I going to be doing with my life after, because I don't want to be teaching. I won't be teaching forever. Then I met one guy. He wore a beautiful blue suit and a brown shoe. I asked him, where did he make it? He said he made that he has a business that made everything. So he has a business that made the suits, and then he also have a business that made the shoe. I was very curious. I was not like, how did this guy do this thing? So I took his number and then I went to him. So one day I was reading again at home, and then I had the idea, okay, I should call this guy. So I called this guy and I reached out to him and asked him, how did you start the business? He said, okay, I should come over to his shop at Gwarimpa in Abuja for us to talk. So I went to his shop, and then I had this. When I was going, I was thinking about what to do. So I had this idea, and I asked him if I should help him to sell his shoes, to market them for him, and then I just top up on his price, or he give it cheaper. So prior to that time, I've sold nothing in my life. I just wanted I was reading book about business, and they say one of the important skills an entrepreneur should have is sales. So I wanted to just dive into it and started selling. That business gave me so much exposure. I met so many people. I would take the shoes to the church. It made me to start to think more creatively. I knew nothing about the footwear business, but I think I did the business for about 5 months. During that period, I learned so much about doing businesses, and then I'll take it to malls. I'll take it to Jabi Lake Mall, take it to malls, drop some samples with them. When they sell it, they call me, send me my cut, and then they keep their own. Then from that one guy, that guy became so expensive for me because he saw that Greg is trying to sell and he's making money off this thing. So something they give me for 15k, they will tell me 20k, and then my customers will be telling me that okay, they want this thing for 20k, and then I can't tell them okay, I'll give them 25. Some of them will buy. Some then I started having like less sales. So what I did was I said okay, this guy is now being very, very much expensive. Let me look for other guys that are doing this business. So I look for smaller guys that are doing the business, but I look at their work and I saw that their work were very good. So what did I do? As I saw that work were very good, what did I do? I took their products. I give them from the experience I've had selling to rich people with money and class. So I know what the people want and what they don't want. So when I go there, I'll tell them, okay, I want you to make this footwear for me. And then when they make the footwear for me, I'll go there and sit. If I don't like it, I'll tell them that I don't want it. So I'll make sure that the finishing was very tight and then everything was neat and clean. So I'll take it, package it in leather and everything, and then send to the person. So during that period, like I was thinking, okay, I just want to make money fast. So I just wanted to make money fast. So I was just thinking, what other business can I do? So I started exploring. I followed PCTME on YouTube. She was one which is my biggest inspiration to start up my YouTube channel. And I met Tayo Aina doing travel videos, and then Steven, I think Steven Dukuda is his name, or Steven something. So I started watching the video. He is into travel, but he covers more real estate. So it was like this guy started to Steven and Tayo were doing interviews of young entrepreneurs in the real estate space in Lagos and then in Abuja, and I was seeing their beautiful cars, their fancy houses, and then their expensive lifestyle. I was saying, this is where it's supposed to be. So what did I do? I started looking for ways. Okay, this my footwear business is, yes, I'm making money from it, but what I was doing was I was not seeing any of the money I was making from it. I'll borrow money from my younger sisters, and then use money from my lessons. I was still doing my lessons when I was doing the footwear business. I'll borrow money from my younger sisters and then take money from my lessons and then invest it in the footwear. When I make sales, I'll use it and I get more requests, or use it and make order for new ones. So I was not seeing any of the money. So I was saying that okay, I need to do something bigger that will give me bigger money. So because I was thinking about, then I was reading books about investment. So I was thinking about investing in real estate and all those things. My head was so pumped up and the rest of them. How did I get into the real estate? I had no, I said I studied religious and cultural study, investor. So I had no background in business. I had nothing to do in real estate, but I was just passionate to learn. What I did was, one day I was just lying down thinking about my life, and then I had just finished reading Sell Like Crazy. So I just finished reading Sell Like Crazy. So my head was just full of I finished reading Sell Like Crazy, and then I finished reading Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. So I was just thinking, okay, how can I start implementing this ideas, or thinking about ways to do it, ways to go into real estate. Okay, let's just start one of my neighbor friends was a real estate agent, but he do local stuff. I said I don't want to do local stuff. I want to do where the big boys are, so that it will be easier for me to make money off the real estate there. So what I did was I went onto Google and then searched for all the real estate companies in Abuja, and then I wrote them down, got their contact, and started calling. So I could call them. I remember the experiences. Yes, I remember the experience. Some people laughed at me and said, laughed at me and said I should go and look for work in a church. What am I going to help out with them with real estate? Okay, have you done anything in real estate before? I said no. Have you done anything in sales? I tell them, okay, I have a shoe business I'm doing. They say, some of them say, I think that shoe business was what made that was what gave me what to offer them. I said, okay, I've still something. I'm selling shoes right now. So they said, some of them say, okay, come and drop your. Some of them say, come and send us your CV. The other one say, okay, we are doing this training course for real estate. This thing. So then I went to and then I did some interviews where they gave me okay, this normal stuff that they give you target and say this is your basic salary. If you make so and so number of sales, you you get so and so percentage of it, and most of them they say they'll give you less training, but when I ask questions, most of them don't give any training. They'll just give you, maybe they call people together and then they'll pump you motivational talks, and then nothing about how to close deal and everything. But I was looking for where I can go, and then they take me from scratch, they know me to where I want to be. So I met this man where one that has that just started his real estate company. Him and his partner, they just merged together. They have two different businesses. So they were looking for an intern. They were looking for an NYSC core member. So an NYSC core member, so they'll work with them. So when I joined them, my salary then was 35k plus, then 10k for. My salary then was 35k plus 10k for 5k for TP, 5k for core card. So I told them I was making from my footwear business, I was making more than 4-5 times that amount. Even if I don't see the money, I was making that amount per week, but I don't see the money. The money is always in entering one business. Like I'll have orders of how many footwear I'll give them. But I just wanted to go into the real estate. So what I did was that I just killed the shoe business, which looking back at it was a good decision, but I think it was I don't regret it. I don't think I've ever sat down and regretted why I quit my footwear business. I never regretted it. It gave me so much experience because I just see my life that everything I've done, I've led me to where I am right now. So I killed the business and then focus on the work. Now, me getting the work, let's talk about this. That's the last job I've done before I quit and I got to where I am now. Now, when I started the job, they're into real estate, but my two bosses, the male and female bosses, they are basically real estate agents. They are trying to build their own real estate development firm too, but they're basically real estate agents. So they were looking for somebody that's going to handle. They have this short-let apartment where just like Airbnb. So they're looking for somebody that will be there, helping them to run around, buy things, and look around. Do this while they themselves between their real estate runs and agency runs, and then the person to be assisting them in the real estate runs, looking for sourcing for properties to sell and all the stuff. So entering into the real estate space, I saw that this is not something that for me. Like that first week, like as I got the job, I was so pumped up when they tell me, okay, let's go and search for property in Uye, Kuse, in this, or where my corporate talking, start moving around, enter boat, some places on trek. I track down that period, some places on trek or enter boats, and I'll go and then I'll walk around. After walking around for like a while, I'll send them the contact. I was learning so much, but after doing that, after the first month, I think after the first 2 weeks, I called my dad sister and told her quit, that this is not for me. She was like, Greg, you're somebody that their life started something, but you don't always finish it, and that's the big challenge I've always had. So you start something you start something and you don't finish it. I start so many things and I don't finish it, and she was like, I should just stick there and then give them lessons. I should give it work for a few months. So I started working with them for some months. But the thing I did with them is that I put in my life, like the work became my life. I didn't have like anybody that asked me, the 2 years and 6 months I worked with the company, anybody that like asked me what was my life that period, my life was my work, because I took the company as if it was my own, and I grew and I learned so much, and I grew so much within the company, like from the small errand boy or buying tissues, checking this if this thing has gotten bad, and this I became I graduated from the junior errand boy to the senior errand boy, where I was handling more responsibilities, and from that senior errand boy I became kind of like their property manager. So like they started focusing more. They saw that Greg has no interest in going around. I use my hand to define my work, but so they saw that Greg had no interest in running around to look for make those calls. So what they did was that they let me be managing the shop like which I was good at, and then they were running around doing their sales and marketing and everything. So I think that was a very very transform like that was a very big opportunity for me to learn, and it gave me so much opportunity because yes, I was managing the company business. How I got my own cash was that by the side or like on the side, like because I'm reading books and I read that you should work on yourself more than you work on the company you're working with. So on the side I was taking up some after working with the company for like a year and 6 months. That first year and 6 months was a very tough period because Nigeria is very tough. Like my salary grew from 35 to within a year and 6 months. My salary grew from 35k to 80k. So I think I was barely existing, but I just had the hope. I was just living on the hope that I was learning something. So what I did was I started like pitching, like I started meeting, I started making use of the opportunity I have. Like our customers, I do have face-to-face interaction with them. So I made myself like a consultant, a consultant in real estate space. So what do they do? People want to like once a client come to stay in our apartment, or say okay, all of them know Greg. So many of them were planning on going into the short-led business. So I was just like a consultant to them, and I earned from it. Like when they want to set up their own, they'll call me, and then for the first few days when they want to buy this and buy that, I'll be like the person that I'll be like a consultant to them when they want to decorate when they want to do the interior of their apartment in Abuja there. So I'll be like the consultant when they'll call me, Greg, this ain't working, and then I'll earn 1 or 2 small cash from it. So that was how I started having extra cash. And then when I started having extra cash, I said, okay, this now where I'm reaping the benefit of all my sacrifice with this company. So I started using Piggyvest to save. I save and I save and save and save. So Piggyvest helped me. During this period, I started smoking cigarettes, smoking weed, and then it nearly like that period I was very like, because I was very stressed. I was very stressed like with myself, trying to figure out what to do in my life and then with my work. So I turned to cigarettes, weed, and then women and all those crazy things that I don't want to start talking. I'm not ready to start talking about right now. So I went into so many crazy things then to cope. I use them as coping mechanisms so that I won't run mad. So the weed then was a very very good coping mechanism, because when I'm done with all the running around and I just smoke and all this, I'll just crash, and then that's the end of the day until when I'm able to like wake up the next early in the morning and then start running around again. So throughout all this period, I started making more cash when people have started to hear about Greg. Anybody that's coming to Abuja, they'll say, call Greg. Greg is into property. Call him. People started giving out my number. So when people the business I was with, the company I was working with, they have a couple of apartments, I think like almost 30 there, and then me on my own side I had like almost 10 of my own that I was handling for the company too. So you can see the level of stress I was passing through. I was not sleeping at night. Every time my phone was always ringing, people complain here, complain that, and then guess what? The ones I was not handling, they're not even giving me more headache, because I hated the business totally. Like at first it was paying me. Yeah, I was like my salary, like the highest my salary was before I left the company was 80,000. But that 80,000 never grew more than that 80,000. But at the end of each month, I was making like 300, 400k, 500k some months if it's a good month. Because some of the apartments but when I send court clients for them, I take my own cuts, and some of them I top up the prices they put for the apartment, and then I take up my own cuts. So I was making good dough from it. Some months 400k, some months 500k, and I just take out my basic need and then save up the rest in Piggyvest. Nobody know about it. My boss didn't know about it, but I did. Like I'm a very very private person, so nobody know about my private home. improvement. And the good thing I did was that I didn't allow it to affect my business. So I think wherever you're working, use that place as an opportunity to grow. If you're not growing there, just run away. When I got to a time when I saw that I was not growing again, I was just stressing myself. I just decided to quit the job. I gave the company 6 months and then to get somebody to replace me. And then that 6 months, the reason why I gave the company 6 months was number one for myself too, and then number one was for myself, and then two for the company. Why did I say for myself? Because I had some responsibilities. I was thinking I'm taking care of my family needs, and then the people I'm handing their apartment, so that I'll help them to transition to whoever they want to take over the apartment after I quit. So I told everybody that, see, I'm leaving this business. So everybody started readjusting. So people are angry that, Greg, you just took up my apartment and now you're leaving. Why are you leaving? So I just like to, because then the business became so stressful, like the stress became like too much for me to take, and I was always depressed and frustrated. All my friends were running away from the country, and then I'm doing everything to try to gather up money for me to run, but instead of the money to keep increasing, things are getting more difficult. So I just decided to let me just quit and then leave everything there. So my struggles, like in my life now, I'm somebody that always starts something and I don't finish it. I have this problem with inconsistency. Throughout my time, like I try to learn cybersecurity. When I start, it is always exciting. After a few weeks, I run away. Digital marketing, I did so many courses. This one I invested so much time. It also helped me in my work, but I invested, I think, more time in digital marketing. Then I ran away from digital marketing. I started the YouTube channel. I made 2 videos. I will post I'll post that video. I made 2 videos and then I ran away from YouTube. And then I went to learn Python. I was learning Python. After learning Python for a while, I think then I transitioned to learn data analysis. Learn data analysis for a while. Learn SQL and went a little bit into the field, and then I think stress from work and all those things made me quit that one. I was thinking that was my final destination, data analysis, but then that was the time that the work became so much stressful. I couldn't, if I open my laptop, my eye would just be hurting me, so I just left that one, and then that was how I kept going until I finally quit. So the turning point of my life was when my life started taking good turn for good. When I started taking ownership, I realized that if my life needs to get better, it's up to me for me to make it to get better. And then I started making sacrifices. I know that, for example, now my work, I know that, okay, I saw the work as in the real estate company as an opportunity for me to grow. So what I did was that I sacrificed every other aspect of my life. So I had no social life. Everything was just all about work. So I made this sacrifice, and it didn't pay off big time, but it still paid off hugely. So, and the next one was journaling. I started journaling every day, I started tracking my finances every day. It was so funny because when anybody that see my journal, they're always laughing at me. They say, Greg, you're a funny guy. So I was taking record of every naira I spent. I started taking record of it. So these are the things that started helping me to change my life. So tracking everything. So I know how much I need to eat in a day. I know how much I need to spend on transport in a day. So I was making, so that period I was making money basically almost every day. So when I just take out the money I need for my basic need, I take the rest and throw them in piggy vests. And that was how I started making progress. Started wrapping up saving that I used to relocate from Abuja. Then I started reading books. I started reading more books, business books, and I'm still reading them. Although after a while, I struggled for like almost a year. I read like 50 books, but after a while, I think 2023, I read just like 10 books. But I started struggling with reading. This year, I started picking up again. I started listening to podcasts, Jay Shetty, Diary of a CEO, School of Greatness, The Mindset Mentor, all those guys. I started The Game by the game. I started by Alex. I think what's his name? Alex Homosi. Yeah. So I started listening to them. So those are people that are shaping my mindset. So now what? Now after this YouTube channel, I know that if you're watching this video up to this point, I will clap for you, because I know that I'm very terrible at talking to the camera. I just want to use this opportunity as an opportunity to learn and then grow. So this YouTube channel, for now, it will be my personal diary, where I'll talk about myself, talk about the lessons I've learned along the way, talk about ways I know that I can help you to become a better person. So if you're still here up to now, I so much appreciate it, because you're the most patient person in the world, because I know that this will be very long and I think it'll be very, very boring to you listening to me just rapping and going. So the thing there is that this my YouTube channel is a new project I just started, and I'm giving myself this as a challenge to use to reshape my life, to change what I'm thinking, to make me more productive. So every day for the next 30 days, I'll come here, drop my content and go. Now my goal right now is not to have like 10k followers or 100k followers or 1 million followers. No, my goal right now is for me to show up every day, speak to the camera every day, learn every day, so that I know that when I've learned this shit and I've become better at it, I know that I'm a very, very creative person. I know that I'm a very creative person. I'll use my creative person to then grow this channel. Right now my focus is on learning how to edit videos, learning how to talk to the camera, most importantly, and then learn how to share my ideas better. I know that I didn't share this idea, this my life story good, and there are so many things I'm supposed to do better, but it's just a stepping stone. So this might be two of making content on my YouTube channel, and then I see you on the next one. So I value your comments so much. I just started the journey. I'm new to this space. I know nothing. I'm learning every day. So just drop your comment in the comments so I learn from it. And if you're still and you've listened to all this my rambling up to this point, please like my video and then subscribe to my channel. Right now I have 4. Yesterday, I've not checked the people that I don't know the people that subscribe. I think the people that subscribe are my siblings and my friends here. But please like and subscribe to my channel. Let's keep growing and learning together. I promise you I won't disappoint you. Yes, right now I'm learning, but I promise you that this is a journey we are going together. So I'm using it as an opportunity to grow, to take myself further, to test myself, to learn new stuff, and I use it as an opportunity to inspire, especially my friends around me, to inspire them that day to day can go and try things that they're not comfortable with, and then see how we can all grow together. But I promise you I won't disappoint you. Keep showing up every day, keep dropping content every day. I'll make sure that my content will be something that will inspire you, that's something that you learn 1 or 2 from, and we keep growing. And I promise you that I won't disappoint you. Or keep getting better every day, or keep studying every day, or keep researching every day how to be a better communicator, how to share my ideas better, how to make my content better. And this channel, I promise you that this channel will be a channel that mark to this date and bookmark this video. And I promise you that this channel will be one of the channels that you will come back. You always say that the best decision you make is that you follow this channel. So you subscribe to this channel. So like my channel and then follow. Then you can follow me on social media. So like my channel. So subscribe to my channel, and then I'll see you tomorrow when I drop my next content. Peace.